A man walks into a bar and orders a drink. The bartender gives the man his drink, and the man asks, "If I show you something crazy, would let me have free drinks for the rest of the night?" The bartender thinks for a minute and then says, "It would to be something spectacular to take that offer." The man leans down and picks up a box and sets it on the bar. He opens the box, and inside is a small piano man, whom is only 1 foot tall, and beside him a little piano. The piano man starts playing classical music like Beethoven and Chopin. Once he finishes, the bartender is in utter disbelief. He tells the man, "You can have free drinks for the rest of the night, but only if you tell where you got this." The man says, "In the alley way behind your bar, there is a genie who is granting free wishes to everyone who wants them." Elated, the bartender heads behind his bar to see if it was true. A few minutes passed, and out of the alleyway erupts a cacophony of quacking. The bartender rushes back into the bar and shuts his door against a wave of thousands of ducks. He manages to secure the door and says to the man, "I think that the genie is hard of hearing, because after I asked for $1,000,000, these ducks appeared by the thousands." The man chuckles and says, "Did you really think I wished for a 12-inch pianist?" And 75-year-old man arrives at a nudist resort. After checking in, he is given the keys to his suite. As he goes to his new suite butt naked, he sees a gorgeous 20-year-old blonde heading his way and immediately gets an erection. "Did you call for me?" asks the blonde. "What do you mean?" asks the man. "We have rules here that if a man gets an erection, it means he called for a girl," says the blonde, and immediately takes him away to her suite where they make passionate love. Later in the day, after taking a swim in the resort's pool, he is walking over to the locker room when he suddenly passes gas. Immediately, a sweaty, hairy man appears out of nowhere and asks, "Did you call me?" "No," stammers the old guy. "What do you mean?" "The rules here are if a man farts, it means he called for me." The hairy man then spins the old man around, bends him over, and screws him in the ass. After the encounter, he immediately runs to reception and asks the woman behind the counter to give him his money back. "Didn't you like it here?" asks the receptionist. The old man replies, "Listen here, lady, I'm 75 years old. I get a boner once every 3 months and fart 20 times a day. Now give me my money back." A koala is sitting in a bar enjoying his drink when a beautiful woman approaches him. She starts flirting, and they chat for a few minutes before the woman looks at the koala and says, "Hey, you want to get out of here?" "Sure," the koala replied as he jumped off the stool and took her hand and led her out of the bar. The moment they get into her apartment, he immediately pulls her skirt down and starts going down on her. After about 15 minutes, the koala gets up and starts walking around. "What are you doing?" the woman asked. "Oh, I'm getting my stuff and going back to the bar," the koala replied. "You have to pay me first," the woman shouted. "What? Why?" the koala asked. "Because I'm a prostitute," the woman said angrily. "What's a prostitute?" he asked. The woman grabbed a dictionary from the bedside table and threw it at him. He opened it up and found the word prostitute, a person who offers sexual activity in exchange for payment. The koala snapped the dictionary shut and angrily shouted, "Well, yeah, bitch, I'm a koala." "What the fuck is a koala?" she barked. The koala threw the dictionary back at her, and she opened it up to the K section. Koala eats bushes and leaves. A guy gets on an airplane and finds himself sitting next to a talking duck. A gorgeous young stewardess comes by and asks the guy and the duck if they would like anything to drink. "I would like a cup of coffee, please," says the guy. "And I'd like a can of beer, you ugly pig," shouts the duck. The stewardess goes and gets a can of beer for the duck, but she is so shaken by the duck's rudeness that she forgets the guy's coffee. When the stewardess comes back and gives the beer to the duck, the guy notices that she has forgotten his coffee. "Excuse me," he says politely. "I ordered a cup of coffee, but you seem to have forgotten it." "Yeah, you piece of shit," yells the duck. "And bring me another beer, you stupid fucking mule." The stewardess walks away, thinking about how the duck is swearing now. Once again, she remembers the beer, but forgets the coffee. When the stewardess comes back, the guy figures that if rudeness and swearing have gotten the duck what he wants, maybe it will also get him what he wants. "Listen, you dumb fucking bitch," he says. "Twice I've ordered a coffee, and twice you've forgotten my coffee. Now bring me my coffee, you fat cow." The stewardess loses her patience. She grabs the guy and the duck out of their seats. Then, with one powerful kick, she kicks open the emergency exit and throws the guy and the duck out of the plane. As they are falling, the duck says to the guy, "You know, you have a pretty big mouth for a guy who can't fly." This woman's husband had been slipping in and out of a coma for several months, yet she had stayed by his bedside every single day. One day, when he woke up, he gesticulated for her to come nearer. As she sat by him, he whispered with eyes full of tears, "You know what? You have been with me through all the bad times. When I got fired, you were there to support me. When my business failed, you were there. When I got shot, you were by my side. When we lost the house, you stayed right here. When my health started failing, you were still by my side. You know what?" "What, dear?" she gently asked, smiling, as her heart began to fill with warmth. "I think you are bad luck." A poor minister was having trouble managing his church. The income was pitiful, the plumbing rattled, the roof leaked, the air conditioning didn't work, and the church didn't have the funds for any repairs. The minister got a brilliant idea. He bought a book about hypnosis and read it from cover to cover. At the next service, he took out a watch and chain, swung it back and forth, and lulled the congregation into a hypnotic trance. He said, "I want everybody to walk down the aisle and put $20 in the plate." They did, and he had the church's roof fixed that week. This worked so well that the next Sunday he decided to do it again. Taking his watch out, he proclaimed, "I want everybody to come down the aisle and drop $100 in the offering plate." They did, and he got the air conditioning fixed and the parking lot redone. His third Sunday, he got to thinking, "I haven't been paid in a long time. I deserve a little money." He started swinging his watch again, and he thought, "I deserve a lot more than a little bit of money. I deserve enough to go overseas and have a cottage on the beach. I deserve a lot more." He got so excited about what he was fixing to receive that his hands started to sweat, and as the watch slipped from his grip, he yelled, "Shit!" It took him 2 weeks to air out the church. A man fishing off the end of the pier is suddenly amazed to see an old wizened woman in a wheelchair hurtling down towards the edge. To his dismay, he realizes she is determined to go over, so just in time he stops her and asks what's wrong. The old woman, who's wrinkled, half-bald and toothless, starts to cry and tells him she's nearly 90 and has never been kissed. The man looks at her, hides his repulsion, and gives her a kiss, although it's almost too much to stomach. She goes away happy, but a couple of hours later, he sees her again, hurtling down towards the pier's edge. "What's wrong now?" he asks. Tears streaming down her face, she tells him she has never been hugged. So he closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and just manages to give her a big hug. The man returns to his fishing, and after another hour, he hooks a very big fish. At that crucial moment, the old woman returns, hurtling down the pier, and losing concentration for a moment, he loses his prize catch. He turns to the tearful old hag, who this time tells him she's never been screwed. So the man gently lifts her out of the wheelchair, and smiling toothlessly at him, she tells him to lie her down on the sand under the pier where they won't be disturbed. The man agrees, takes up 2 loose planks from the floor of the pier, and drops her through to the sand below. The woman laughs excitedly, again saying, "I've never been screwed before." "Well, you will be now," replies the man. "The tide comes in 15 minutes, and with that, he walks away. My friends, if you want to watch other funny jokes, subscribe to the channel.